I hope you can't hear that AC in the background, but I kind of feel like you can. We've had a lot of air conditioning issues in our apartment recently, and it's very loud. I can hear it really loudly, so I think you're just gonna have to get used to that this summer in my videos. I know that I already did a spring cleaning video, but needed to get my coffee. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that Michael got COVID a few weeks ago after we came back from my best friend's wedding in Florida. Surprise, surprise, we went to a wedding in Florida and got COVID. Actually, my dad got COVID, Michael got COVID, my friend's boyfriend got COVID, and surprisingly no one else in our family did, although my sister and I were there, Allie's boyfriend was there, Michael's parents even came, and my mom didn't get COVID even though she was with my dad. That was a long-winded way of saying that Michael got COVID and I isolated with Milo away from him for 10 days exactly. From the day of his first symptoms and his positive PCR, we left. So Milo and I left and went to Michael's parents' apartment, which thankfully is relatively close to us in the city, but we packed up a full bag of stuff and left. So we moved out. Michael was here alone, the poor guy. We came and dropped off soup with him a couple of times, and I had a couple of outdoor encounters with him. We took a walk together, we sat outside together, but it was really a long time apart, and it was really hard for him. My necklaces are all tangled, and this is gonna be bothersome, I just know it. Milo actually turned 6 months during that time, so that was really sad for Michael. We gave it 10 days, we went away together for Memorial Day weekend, and now the three of us are back home. It's actually a Tuesday, our nanny's not here today, she only comes Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, so I have Milo alone today, he's napping, my sister is coming uptown. In case you've been seeing my sister on my social media a lot, she actually left her job, so her company got bought by another company and she is starting a new job later this year, so she has a lot of time to hang out with Milo. So she's on aunt duty with me today, and we're gonna take Milo out. I think it's 90 degrees in New York City, so we're maybe not gonna be out for too long. I've been feeling really inspired ever since getting out of the house and now coming back to declutter and clean up this place. I lived for 10 days at my in-laws' house with one pair of jeans, 2 white t-shirts, and a pair of shorts, and I was fine. And that's not to say that I don't need more clothes, but I was a little inspired by how little I had with me and how I was able to live just fine. I'm gonna do a little bit of organizing, and I also have a plan. I wanna take you and show you something. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and it's finally time. Okay, my room is pitch dark, but let me open the shades, hold on. Okay. When we moved into this apartment, a lot of the decor and stuff was here already. So the current owners of this apartment had this wallpaper on already. This is actually their bed frame. It's our mattress, but it's their bed frame. And the light fixtures and stuff were all here. We didn't do too much interior design when we got to this rental. But one thing that has always bugged me about this apartment is the bed. I feel like I have a lack of knowledge when it comes to how to style a bed. I've been on Pinterest for the past 2 weeks typing in how to arrange pillows on a bed, best way to organize your bed to make it look professional. I just don't understand why I see so many people's beds on social media that look beautifully styled and designed, and I think the issue for me is the pillows. Granted, I still have my pregnancy pillow on the bed. I cannot get rid of that thing, but I think it's probably time to retire it until I'm pregnant again in the future. Hi, Michael.
Hello.
Do you want to come in?
Okay, thanks.
Oh, Michael walked in, but he doesn't want to be here. Have a good day.
You too.
But the pillow situation is just a nuisance. Also, I'm realizing that it's probably really loud right here too because there's another AC unit. Hope you can hear me. I've been thinking, I've been Googling, I've been pinning, and I think I came up with a new situation that I want for the bed. One thing that I really want to do is refresh all the sheets and the pillowcases. Secondly, I need a new throw pillow situation, and it needs to be styled and arranged and even. Right now we have a couple big pillows, a couple small pillows, and they're never quite even. There's some flat ones, there's some big ones. This is an okay pillow, but I'm just a little confused with how it is arranged, and this I just despise. I don't know why, I just despise it. Then down here, I don't know, this needs a throw blanket or something. The bed is just so plain, it needs something thrown. Part of the reason I need new sheets, not only bed sheets but also a new duvet cover, is this one all the buttons have fallen off, so it like hangs through. Do you see what I'm saying? This normally had a button, it fell off. Anyway, need a refresh. So Allie's coming over soon, getting my life together, and I'm gonna do a little decluttering, and I honestly don't think I'm gonna film it because I really just wanna do it. That's one perk and drawback of being a YouTuber. The perk is that whatever you wanna do for your life to make your life and space happy and clean, you technically can just set up your camera, record it, and then boom, you got a video. The drawback is that you can't really focus on one thing because you're also focusing on the camera and the lens and the audio. And I just want to declutter my house and not really think about it too much. All right, I'm off to work. See you in a bit. Sissy day. Aunt Allie's here and we're taking Milo out for a little walk. With his ice cream. Do you have ice cream? He has ice cream. That's my breast milk frozen in a little sucker. Yummy ice cream. All right, I'm so excited. It is officially time to fix up this bed. We're ready to go. Thank you so much to Brook Linen for helping me spruce up this bed and for sponsoring today's vlog. Before I even get into it, Brook Linen is giving my viewers $20 off any order of $100 or more just by using the code all caps Lucie. So here's what I have. I went with their Luxe Hardcore Sheet Bundle. I love how this stuff is packaged. Comes with a duvet cover. Comes with one core sheet set, which is like a flat sheet, a fitted sheet, and 2 pillowcases. It also gives you 2 extra pillowcases because you can never have enough pillowcases. And I splurged and went with 2 plush down pillows for a king-size bed. Amazing pillows. If you are looking for kind of a sheet overhaul on your bed, I would recommend doing the bundles because I think you save 25% just by bundling these items together. My sister actually has these sheets on her bed, so I've slept in them before. And if you're looking to up your sheet game, this is the bundle for you. It's a 480 thread count. It has a bit of a shiny, luminous finish, and they are just buttery soft and silky smooth. The sheets are also tested for harmful substances. I'm gonna put the text here that says the type of certification they have, but it's so easy to just get this Luxe Hardcore Bundle online. You just select your bed size, then you can choose from over 20 colors and patterns. Typically a sheet set like this with this high quality of sheets would cost you at least $500, but Brook Linens cost about $200 to $250 depending on your bed size. And don't forget, if you use the code all caps Lucie, you'll get an extra $20 off any order of $100 or more. So thank you so much again to Brook Linen for sponsoring this vlog. So I finally decided what I want to do with this bed in terms of decor and style. I have my new bedding, my new duvet cover, pillowcases, that's all set. The next thing I'm going to do is put this linen blanket on top of everything. Oh, and also I couldn't decide color-wise what I wanted to do. This room is actually trickier than it looks on camera. We've got this hummingbird dragonfly wallpaper going on. And it is a neutral color, as is the back of the bed headboard, but it is also kind of gray. We also got gray night tables, and of course the built-in cabinetry is gray and the walls are gray. So there's a lot of gray going on in here mixed with sand neutral colors, and I was trying to figure out if we put something on the bed, like a pillow that is darker to contrast with it. But nothing that I put in here actually looked like it flowed with the color scheme. Oh, and one other thing, this room is a little bit yellow. I'm just gonna be honest with you, our shade right now is broken, so it doesn't roll up all the way, which means we don't get ample light in here. And if you wanna see our DIY hack, we put duct tape on the shade right now to keep it up because this needs to be fixed. I feel like this room has a very yellow look. Maybe it's the yellow lights, maybe it's the color of our lamps. I tried switching the bulbs in the lamps to being white daylight bulbs, and it looked so bad, like a hospital. And my solution was to forget the idea of throwing color on the bed. I'm just going bright whites. That is my goal. I figured if I just brighten up the bed, this darkish space will have a better chance at feeling bright and airy. And now I'm taking this bright, stark white linen blanket and talked to my mom about it, who's an interior designer, and our final decision with the bed is just as much white as possible and as much texture as possible. For pillows, I have this one that we had on the bed before, and then I got 2 white other texture pillows to put on the sides of it. Just different textures. So now you see we have 3 textures going on here, which I like. I also got this little lumbar pillow. It's not as big as I would want it to be, but it's just another white texture.
This is so cute, Lou.
Right? And now the last and final piece, I'm so excited about this. Softest blanket ever. I'll link it in my Instagram stories. And I feel like there's a number of ways you could do this. Drapey, comfy vibes. You can choose based on the day. But I actually like the way it looks, like all textured and bunched up. Like, look at it. It looks like icing on a cake. I'm going to use my handy dandy spatula trick. In case you saw this before, Laura, who's behind the camera, showed me this. It's basically just a wooden kitchen spatula, and you can use it. You can, like, you know, tuck in the corners and then use this to, like, really get things in there nicely. Look, it works so well.
I know.
You just push it in. So easy.
It's really fun too, right?
It's really fun. I will also say, this is my absolute nightmare because the first thing I do when I get into bed is untuck everything that's tucked in. So I will not be doing this every day, but this is for the video. We'll do a poll on my community tab, so head over to my YouTube community tab and vote. Oh. Oops, I'm sorry about that. Wrong way. I was gonna go wide. Presets. Let's make it more white, less yellow. Okay, before.
Wow.
The power of photo editing. I have the news on in the background, so I'm sorry if you can hear that, but I've been on a handful of news channels and media platforms recently talking about my breast milk donation amidst the formula shortage that's going on in the United States. And I was on CNN, I was on CBS, I was on ABC, and I'm about to go on NBC and a Peacock show that I'm really excited about. So I'm gonna try to set up my camera and record a little bit of the interview so that you can see it. Live TV these days looks a little different. You know, I'm not going to a studio or anything. I'm sitting here in my office and I'm just gonna go live right here. But I'm currently on the call with them. It's just happening through Zoom. And so what I'm seeing right now is the live show that's happening. And I'm about to go live myself, so stay tuned.
Abbott Nutrition, the manufacturer that recalled baby formula in February, has restarted production of its specialized formula, which is expected to be released later this month. But many parents are very much still struggling with feeding their infants, which is springing some moms into action, like TikTok star Lucie Fink.
Let's donate my breast milk.
So why did you decide to donate breast milk? I didn't even know this could happen. So tell us all about it.
I actually didn't know it could happen either. I had looked to people who are impacted by the shortage.
I love when people find novel ways.
Pumping breast milk, that was something that was just a big question mark for me.
A message to the moms out there who are considering donating.
How many ounces does your body produce and how many ounces does your baby take in a day?
Thank you so much for being here and helping educate us on the fact that this is happening right now. I love when people just take action, try to solve problems. Please stay safe.
Thanks, Olena, you too.
I'm that journey.
And that's what it looks like to go live on TV from your office. Throughout my TV career, I have done live TV appearances on places like The Today Show and The Rachel Ray Show, and the energy of being in studio, it's so different from what that just was. It's still really fun to have the opportunity to pop online and just like be in a segment from the comfort of my own apartment. So that was pretty fun, and I'm really glad you got to see it. Putting some freshly pumped milk away in the fridge, and I think I'm gonna take you to the grocery store because I have some stuff to get. So I want to tell you a little bit about our current experience with feeding and Milo's eating journey. This is the strangest outfit. I was like business on the top, lounge on the bottom for my TV appearance. This is what I was actually wearing for the TV appearance, in case you were curious. And I have to also put together a little pouch of my breast milk and ship it off by mail to this company that is making me a piece of jewelry out of my breast milk, which I'm really excited. They're basically taking the milk and putting it into like cubic zirconium. Maybe I said that wrong, but they're making me a ring, and I'm really excited to share that with you. At 4 months, we went to the doctor and she suggested that it was time to start giving Milo purees. Personally, I, at that point, knew nothing about the concept of feeding babies or the idea of baby-led weaning, which, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially the idea of giving babies at, I think, 6 months of age, real food. Sounds like the baby is home. Let's go see. Hi, little petunia head. Hi. Okay, now that they're home, I'm going back in the office. I'm gonna make a really long story short. Essentially, we started off on the puree route, and I did a lot of my own research and was personally really attracted to the concept of baby-led weaning, which involves giving your actual 6-month-old baby real pieces of food and letting them map them out in their mouth. There's gagging involved, but gagging is not the same as choking. Supposedly, it's a really great method of teaching babies to eat and feed themselves, a really great method for helping babies not be picky once they enter into toddlerhood, like picky eaters. I don't know, there are loads of other benefits. If you want to look into baby-led weaning, one of the best resources out there that I have found is called Solid Starts on Instagram, and I actually just got off a call with Jenny Best, who's the founder of Solid Starts. And we had this call because my doctor was actually pretty against the concept of baby-led weaning, which was a little upsetting because I, as a mom, was for it and really believe in the science that's coming out of Stanford that is being talked about on the Solid Starts page. We are doing a bit of a mixture right now. We're doing purees and still giving soft, mashed, pureed foods, although we are doing our best to load up the spoon and pass it to Milo and let him feed himself. And we are also adding in solids and cooking them appropriately and preparing them and or cutting them appropriately and serving them to him and letting him explore foods on his own that way. And I told Jenny on the call that one thing about me is that I thought I wasn't going to be stressed while I was giving Milo these solids because I have taken the courses and I've watched the videos and I know the risk of choking is so low, and I understand how the brain works and how the epiglottis closes, and I know it's insanely hard to choke on stuff. That said, I still have just like a human instinct to see a baby putting something towards their mouth, biting off a piece, and then starting to gag. It worries me. And so Jenny suggested that what might work really well for me is at Milo's meals to give him a piece of like highly resistive food, like a stick of resistive food, such as a corn on the cob with the corn cut off, the inside of a pineapple core that is just unbiteable, a mango pit with all of the food sliced off of it, animal bones that have the meat cut off, things that are physically impossible for Milo to break, so he won't be able to swallow them, but things that he can play around with in his mouth and start to map his mouth and potentially poke his throat and gag, and that's all good. So I'm about to go to the store because we don't have many resistive foods. One of the things about baby-led weaning that's supposed to be easy is that you can actually just, serve your baby things that you're eating yourself. So I have lentils here. I have a little silicone bowl for Milo, and I'm gonna put some lentils in it. And then I also steamed some cauliflower with some butter, and that was partially for Milo. And it's really soft, so I'm gonna put that cauliflower in with the lentils, just a little. I'm just gonna mash this all together, maybe add in a little breast milk to make it soft. The truth is we do normally use the canned and jarred and pouch purees. We love the organic purees from Gerber, and the ingredients are just, organic carrot and water. So we love that stuff, but I do also like making food for him, not gonna lie. It's something I always kind of dreamed of doing, and I'm really excited that the time has come. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing. Just mashing this stuff together, making it really small and squished, and then I'll put a little breast milk in it to thin it out. So be back soon, hold on. Okay, I'm tossing this mango pit in some flax seeds to make it a little less slippery. We'll see how this goes. It's still very slippery. You ready?
Que wasabi, bello, yummy.
Mash, 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 mash. More. More? Okay, give me, Mommy, look at you more. Ready? More. More. Good eating. Hard to pick up, right? You got it. Oh. Very slippery. Good eating.
yum, yum, yum.